Is that our first Dynamorphia regional top that I've seen? Yes, it is. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. This is actually a really cool regional breakdown because I mean, yeah, we're still deep in, you know, the craziness that is Fire format here, but this entire diverse top cut here showcases that you can have a slew of one-ofs in a top cut of an event here that can all challenge the meta here and be able to, you know, overcome things. Now, I think the most hilarious thing was, obviously, this event was won by Fire King, not the pure Snake Eyes build that has been like 1,000 miles ahead of the rest of the meta. No. Today, the victory goes to the lesser variant, and I think that's actually kind of hilarious. You did have a Snake Eyes build present in this event, which I think is fine to, you know, see. But it's, when you're looking at this, this is all straight one-ofs. Now, your challengers in the meta, Branded doing branded things with the gimmick Puppet Sanctifier lock. We're pretty used to seeing this. Branded actually managed to lock down second place, which is pretty interesting in itself. There's a very interesting Rescue Ace deck that managed to top this event as well. Rescue Ace actually sporting off a Horus package in the deck, which I guess, you know, being able to toggle through all of the abilities that you would have. And it's also playing the Mask of the Black Goat as a little tech choice. Yeah, more decks are actually going towards that. We also had Labyrinth. That's something that Labyrinth has been in shambles for a little bit of this format, you know, and the build's not even maximizing on transaction rollbacks. What does that tell you about the meta? You also have Floowandereeze, so standard birdies doing birdie things. And then, of course, we had a Voiceless Voice deck. Yeah, you gotta see some sort of meta variant with that. And as the world shakes outside, that's the power of my Dynamorphia player smashing through top cut. Yeah, that's what a Rexstrom sounds like, everybody. Let's pass on over to deck list. Winning our event here is, of course, Fire King Snake Eyes. Anybody else surprised to hear that? No? Standard meta? Yeah, I know. It's just a normal day in the office, I feel like, anymore, as we look at, you know, Snake Eyes, Fire, or something or rather, taking on the meta here. You do see that we are playing the one talents in the main deck. Interesting, by the way. And of course, we are playing the Divine Temple. We were seeing a little bit of an argument going, you know, do we actually dedicate the temple into the more Fire King-y build? But I do think you probably do want to try to have that. We do see the triple cross out in here as well, and the triple summon limit as well, the card that has been catching some very interesting flack from this community as of late. You also have the double ghost bell. You do have the one shifter down there so you can cross it out so you don't have to lose to it randomly. Yeah, this is it's standard Fire King, standard everything. Okay. Second place here is our branded deck. Hey, gimmick puppet stuff. Okay. You know, this build is playing triple Allure of Darkness, which is also kind of interesting, by the way. You know, being able to turbo deep into the deck to get the draw power going so you can sculpt your hand, you're good to go, actually. I do see that you have Garua and friends down there in the extra deck. With this, actually, the fact that you're side decking the super polys for this deck is kind of interesting. You know, obviously, a lot of people do kind of think that you need to be able to have those in the main for board breaking, which I do kind of agree with, actually. Having those cards to be able to turbo through and get your maximum value is usually pretty much a guarantee for this deck. So that's kind of interesting. We are playing the Fusion Duplication in the main deck, so you can be able to slot roll out and do whatever you need to do. But, okay, interesting. But outside of that, it looks like a normal day in the branded developments. Here's our Dynamorphia player that shakes the earth. So many trap cards in this. You're on, what, 20 traps in the main deck here? Sporting off 42 cards. You do see that we do have two of the Iron Thunder in here as well. You also have two of the Wannabe in here as well. I do like Wannabe, being able to get the free excavation, go find something that you need. You do see you are playing just the 5 Dynamorphia monsters. You are also playing Misk in here as well. Misk making sure that you can actually get your play lines going, I think is kind of important. And that's actually a good thing. Sporting off the Judgments, double Rescue Ferret in here as well. And of course, hey, triple summon limit down there in the side deck. Yeah, another case of, this format going sideways here. You kind of are forced to play it. And I do like the little Psychic End Punisher up there in the extra deck. The memes, the things you can do. Next up here, we have our Voiceless Voice Duelist, sporting off Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, actually. Most of these builds would not touch a double Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph with a 10-foot pull, but this build here actually is choosing to play it. And we're also only playing one Dynamondo in the side deck. Okay, or excuse me, in the extra deck. That's a little bit different. But this build is playing the Branded Fusion stuff. This is what we've been pretty much seeing people kind of go towards, where, use the Branded Fusion stuff to facilitate, some drop power, so you can kind of go ahead and start getting out your free little value, which is pretty normal at this point in time to see, the hybrid build. Because, the Branded Fusion stuff does not conflict with this deck at all. Oh no, fusions for the rest of the turn. So anyway, I started ritual summoning on my opponent, and they were like, oh no, like, how could you do this to me? And it's like, no, this is just pretty normal. This is what the deck wants to do in terms of its meta. Alright, so good stuff to actually see. Next up here, we have our... this is so cool. You have Imseti and Friends dropping on in to your little interesting take for this deck. And I don't know what it is with the idea of just having large monsters you can throw at your opponent or just discard outlets, but being able to just have Imseti and Hoppy be large presences on the field to also supply you with draw power is pretty good. You also do see the Mask in the main deck here as a one-of, and we've seen the OCG starting to go towards the Mask. I think that the Mask is a very strong card, just for being able to blank turns for your opponent for whatever specific threat you might be facing. Also, this build's playing 50 cards, which is not an issue, actually. I think it's actually pretty solid that you're able to access that much and be able to do things with it. And, of course, one Change of Heart, triple Mind Control down there. Holy crap. All right. Hey, our Labyrinth Duelist here. 41 in the main, double Nibiru, triple Droll. We're only playing one transaction rollback in the main. That's a different take if I've seen it. So many people are like, oh, you need how many transaction rollbacks? And it's like, no. I mean, when you become so dependent on something, and like maybe the card's not the greatest thing in the world. Okay. We're also playing triple of the Dark Barrier statue down there in the side deck. That's kind of something to think about here. Is the Dark Barrier statue actually something that you should start to be seeing right now? I mean, I never thought I would see the Dark Barrier statue be a dominant force in the game, but you've kind of reached that point right now that maybe you do need to give this thing some consideration. With fire just being able to run through you so hard, at least the barrier statue can at least, stick around. You can use Labyrinth plays to kind of navigate around it. So, okay. Next up is our Snake Eyes Duelist. Wow, Snake Eyes back here. It's standard Jet Synchron stuff. We are actually playing one copy of it. Is it the Birch? Yeah, it looks like we are playing one Birch. Double original Sinful Spoils, double of the field spell, and we're actually main decking the triple super polymerization in here as well. You do see down there in the side deck that we're actually side decking Silvera as well, which is actually kind of cool. You see one of the subversion Snake Eyes in here as well, the little standard uncrystallization stuff. And then you are playing the one Chase. You also have the triple Ghost Belt down there as well. So you can basically be able to handle most of the situations that come up. And of course, double Flamber's Dragon. Yeah, double Flamber's Dragon is actually just kind of insane for, the sorts of things that you do tend to see with this deck. But I mean, hey, this looks pretty normal to me, This is Snake Eyes being the best deck in the room. A little odd tech choices for this build, but, I think it was good to see. And then we have Floowandereeze back here. Boy, oh boy, only double End Pen. Okay, we had one DD Crow in the main deck. That's kind of interesting, but you do still have the double, or the one Rise of the one Apex Avian. You also had one Dimensional Fissure built into the main deck. Also one Evenly as well, with no extras. You do have the double Harpy's Featherstorm in the side deck as well, with two more Dimensional Fissures. So I guess the logic was, we'll play the one-ofs, and if we need them, or if we need extras, we can board into them. I mean, okay, sure. But outside of that, I mean, pretty interesting regional, per se. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.